As the 3751 was sent to San Bernardino to be placed on display, the 484 stayed on the property during the Cold War. Luckily, the Northern would get a second chance on the main line. In 1981, the San Bernardino Railroad Historical Society was formed to restore 3751 to operational condition. But during her time, an enormous steam locomotive came to San Bernardino. Now, there's little information about the steam locomotive, but from what I can gather, during the time the SBRHS was formed, they brought in Ferrocarril Coahuila y Zacatecas, or Coahuila and Zacatecas Railway for the English viewers, navigates 280 number 42, named Chief Tumark. Built in 1911 by the Bowen Locomotive Works in Philadelphia, the locomotive had an adventuresome life on the Coahuila and Zacatecas in Mexico before it was retired from service around the 1960s. Why did this navigate steam consolidation come to Viaduct Park? Well, it stayed with the steam locomotive while the members of the SBRHS proceeded with the restoration of 3751. The 42 became some sort of training locomotive, giving would-be steam mechanics with some hands-on opportunity in restoration, maintenance, and operation. The group intended to house both steam locomotives along with an unknown diesel locomotive and some cars, but this didn't came to be, and as soon enough, the 42 left Viaduct Park. Where's the locomotive? Well, it remains a mystery as very many people dug into the history of 42. Besides that, the SBRH has managed to buy the locomotive for just $1. Yes, you heard me right, $1 to restore a 874,000-pound steam locomotive. Anyways, in 1986, work began to take the locomotive out of the park and be transported to the California Steel Industries in Fontana, California. After the locomotive got out of the park, two 7 Pacific SD9s took the engine to the steel industries, where it was restored at a cost of $1.50 million. Then, restoration began on the locomotive. August 13th, 1991. The Northern moved under her own power for the first time in 38 years, and the locomotive also made it to the news media after her restoration.
A 5,000 horsepower Hulk rolled off the assembly line in Pennsylvania. 1927 it was, and for the next 26 years, it supplied the muscle for Santa Fe Railroad's passenger trains between Chicago and LA. It was the golden age of rail travel.
3751 was placed on a break and run for a test run to examine her capabilities. Everything was fine after the run, but however, there was one major flaw: her age. Since 3751 is the oldest Northern, it does need some diesel assistance given her age, which was 64 at the time in 91. Yep, she was very old. Without a diesel hub or two, she can't simply handle the weight of the cars compared to the weight of the passenger cars she used to haul back in the day, like Pullman coaches for example. Nonetheless, she was ready to hold her first ever excursion, but she was displayed at San Bernardino before the exciting day. One day before her excursion on December 26, 1991, her train was being prepared at the same time when the Soviet Union collapsed. But one day later, December 27, 1991, her day finally came. In the morning of December 27, 1991, 3751 was ready to hold her first ever excursion. She was taking one of Santa Fe's discontinued passenger trains, the California Limited, but with various coaches rather than the Santa Fe's official coaches. Her excursion was a 4-day trip from Los Angeles to Bakersfield, California, and making stops along the way such as Barstow. Two FP-45s accompanied the Northern, which were 95 and 97. Anyways, after doing the preparation, the 3751 was on the move, heading to Los Angeles. The trip was going well, with the engine blowing its 5-chime whistle loud to catch bystanders' attention, seeing the steam locomotive under her own power. But then, the most insane thing happened that a steam locomotive can't do. You know the tracks that lead to Los Angeles Union Station? Well, the tracks took the whole excursion onto a highly active highway. Yes, what you're seeing here in the footage is 3751 running by an active highway. The track spots 3751 and the whole train onto a highway, where tons of cars are racing by the engine and motorists seeing a 1927 Boeing Boat 44 Northern passing by. While yes, there are times where locomotives do the craziest things, but this one takes the cake. And don't worry, the engine will do one more craziest thing during her excursion line. Well, back to the story. The highway in particular the locomotive ran by is Interstate 10, the fourth longest southernmost interstate that runs from California to Florida. Regardless, when the train left the highway and entered Union Station, many people were waiting for the train to enter the platform. This is some cases where people would stand too close or on the tracks. But before I continue, please take my advice and make sure you're at a good distance from the tracks. I know this is a station where the trains will come in and out of the station slowly, but this does apply to the main line, where trains are coming right at you at 70 miles per hour. After the passengers board the 3751 excursion, the train departed Union Station, now heading to its final destination of Bakersfield, California. And then, the big actions happened. As the steam locomotive made its way to Bakersfield, she attracted many rail fans along her way and passed through some of our known railroad locations like the Horn Pass and that had to be Loop, for example.
Do you hear that whistle down the line? I figure that it's engine number 49. She's the only one that'll sound that way on the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe. See the old smoke rising round the bend. I reckon that she knows she's gonna meet a friend. Folks around these parts get the time of day from the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe. Here she comes. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey Jim, you better get the ring. Ooh, 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 ooh. She's got a list of passengers that's pretty big, and they'll all want lifts to Brown's Hotel. There's lots of them been traveling for quite a spell, all the way from Philadelphia on the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe.
The train finally arrived to its final destination of Bakersfield, California. And then, later on, the return trip to Los Angeles was a success, making the whole trip as a successful excursion. Looks like this locomotive will be rising to the fame